Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's fascinating exploration into one of the most extraordinary coins in modern American numismatics, the 2002 D1 cent coin, a coin that may look like a simple piece of change to the untrained eye but holds an astonishing value of $48 million due to its rare errors, mistakes, and unique anomalies, and we are going to dive deep into the reasons why collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts alike consider this particular penny a treasure worth far beyond its face value, so stay tuned as we journey through the intricate history, minting processes, and remarkable circumstances that combine to make the 2002 D penny a phenomenon in the world of rare coins, starting with the background of its production. Because the United States Mint in 2002 was operating with high efficiency yet under complex mechanical processes that occasionally allowed human and mechanical error to intersect, creating conditions in which mistakes could occur, and some coins were released with subtle but incredibly valuable deviations from the intended design. One of the most prominent factors contributing to the value of the 2002 D penny is the presence of double dies, a situation where the coin's die, which is supposed to imprint the design with perfect precision, strikes the planchette more than once in slightly different positions, leading to a doubling effect that is often visible on the date and lettering, and in the case of the 2002 D penny, certain coins exhibit such pronounced doubling that collectors immediately recognize them as rare anomalies. The doubling can affect the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the numerals in the date itself, and this doubling is not just a minor curiosity but a major contributor to the coin's incredible value, because only a tiny fraction of pennies from the 2002 D mintage display this particular error. And beyond double dies, the 2002 D penny also features a variety of other errors and mistakes that make individual specimens highly sought after, including off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, and planchette flaws, each of which interacts with the coin's copper-plated zinc composition to create unique visual and structural characteristics that appeal to numismatists. For example, off-center strikes occur when the planchette is not perfectly aligned with the dies during striking, resulting in coins where part of the design is missing or misaligned, and depending on the degree of off-centering, these coins can command significant premiums in the collector market. Some extremely off-center 2002 D pennies are considered museum-quality anomalies, while smaller off-center errors still attract attention from serious collectors. And die cracks, another common type of error on the 2002 D penny, occur when the dies themselves develop fissures from repeated use, imprinting raised lines or irregularities onto the coin surface. These cracks can vary in size from tiny hairlines to more prominent features that sometimes create miniature geographies on the coin, and for certain collectors, these cracks are even more fascinating than double dies because they reflect both the wear of the minting equipment and the uniqueness of each coin struck under imperfect conditions. Die chips are similarly coveted, tiny bits of the die that break off and leave small raised areas on the coin, and in the 2002 D penny, some die chips are particularly unusual in shape and location, producing coins that are visually striking and immediately identifiable as one-of-a-kind. Examples: planchette flaws, including lamination errors where the layers of the copper-plated zinc peel or separate slightly, also contribute to the rarity and desirability of the 2002 D penny, because these flaws are purely accidental and cannot be reproduced deliberately. Each planchette flaw essentially creates a coin that is impossible to duplicate, and when these errors occur in combination with doubled dies or die cracks, the value of the coin skyrockets, which is precisely why collectors are willing to pay millions of dollars for authentic, verified examples of the 2002 D penny. The rarity of these errors is compounded by the fact that millions of 2002 D pennies were minted, but only a tiny fraction escaped the mint with any noticeable mistakes, and of those, only a smaller number have survived in excellent condition without damage from circulation, cleaning, or improper storage, making the subset of highly collectible 2002 D pennies exceedingly rare, and this scarcity directly influences market value, because in the world of rare coins, condition, provenance, and verified errors are king, and the 2002 D penny has become a perfect storm of all three factors. Further adding to its appeal is the role of professional grading, with organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation certifying coins, documenting errors, and assigning condition grades that reassure buyers and investors of authenticity and quality. A high-grade 2002 D penny with verified double die or significant die cracks can fetch extraordinary sums at auction, sometimes reaching tens of millions of dollars, and the story of how these coins are discovered adds an additional layer of intrigue and excitement, because many 2002 D pennies have been found unexpectedly in circulation, inherited from family collections, or purchased at local coin shops, leading to dramatic stories of ordinary pennies turning into life-changing fortunes overnight, and the thrill of discovery, coupled with the rarity and historical significance of these coins, contributes heavily to the mystique and value of the 2002 D 1 cent. In addition to technical minting errors, there is also the historical context of the early 2000s, which saw the US Mint refining production processes and materials, including the shift to predominantly zinc planchets coated with a thin layer of copper, which sometimes introduce subtle variations in striking pressure or alignment that could manifest as unique errors on individual coins. Some 2002 D pennies exhibit unusual toning or coloration as a result of minor variations in copper plating, exposure to environmental factors, or differences in metal composition, and these aesthetic differences, while incidental, further distinguish individual coins and enhance their collectible appeal, and beyond the physical and historical aspects. The 2002 D penny also occupies an interesting position in the psychology of collecting and investing, because human fascination with rare errors, anomalies, and objects that defy normal expectations drives demand, and the notion that a simple penny could be worth $48 million sparks curiosity, admiration, and competition among collectors, investors, and numismatists worldwide, making the 2002 D penny not just a piece of currency, but a symbol of fortune, serendipity, and the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. The narrative of rarity is amplified when one considers that each era coin is unique, meaning that even coins with the same type of error may differ subtly in size, shape, or prominence, creating a market where collectors vie for the most striking examples, and where provenance, documentation of previous ownership, grading, and auction history can elevate value further, creating a rich, dynamic, and highly specialized market. The 2002 D penny also invites educational exploration, as enthusiasts study the mechanics of coin production, the types and causes of errors, and the historical circumstances of the early 21st century mint, blending metallurgy, history, art, and economics into a single collectible object. And this educational component adds intrinsic value for those passionate about understanding not just the coin itself, but the broader story it tells about human ingenuity, error, and fascination with perfection and imperfection. Collectors often analyze 2002 D pennies to compare die states, variations in doubling, off-center degrees, and the presence of micro-flaws, effectively turning the study of these pennies into a form of miniature archaeology, uncovering the processes, tools, and accidents that left their mark on each coin. And this meticulous attention to detail further enhances appreciation and monetary value. The market dynamics are equally compelling, because rarity, condition, and verified error type drive prices, and as more 2002 D pennies are graded, authenticated, and auctioned, the awareness of their scarcity and value increases, creating a feedback loop where demand drives attention, attention drives competition, and competition drives prices ever higher. The story is also enriched by notable sales and auction records where extraordinary specimens of 2002 D pennies have changed hands for eye-popping sums, sometimes setting world records for 1-cent coins, and these high-profile transactions cement the coin's reputation as a premier collectible, inspiring a new generation of collectors and investors to seek out similar opportunities. And while $48 million may seem almost inconceivable for a single penny, it is entirely consistent with the principles that govern rare coin valuation: scarcity, uniqueness, historical significance, condition, and demand, and the 2002 D penny embodies all of these factors perfectly, serving as a symbol of both tangible and intangible value, a story of chance, human error, mechanical precision, and market psychology converging to create a modern legend. And for anyone interested in numismatics, collectibles, or the fascinating intersection of history. Next, 1976 1-cent USA coin. Everyone, and thank you for joining today as we dive into a remarkable story that will captivate collectors, history enthusiasts, and anyone fascinated by the hidden treasures in everyday life, because today we are exploring the extraordinary world of rare coins, specifically the 1976 1-cent coin. A coin that might look ordinary at first glance but holds a secret of immense value, a coin whose face value is just 1 cent but whose rarity, minting errors, and unique characteristics have elevated it to a staggering worth of approximately $43 million, and the journey of understanding why this 1976 penny is so valuable begins with examining its production at the United States Mint during a year of significant historical and economic context, as 1976 was the bicentennial year of the United States, a time of national celebration, increased coin production, and heightened attention to commemorative issues, and while the standard penny design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse was in place, the minting process was subject to all the variables, mechanical, human, and procedural, that could lead to errors, and it is these errors that create immense value for collectors. Because what makes a coin like the 1976 1-cent unique is not simply its age or design but the mistakes and anomalies that occurred during its production, which transformed a simple piece of currency into a rare, highly sought-after collectible. And one of the most significant errors associated with the 1976 penny is the famous double die obverse, where the lettering and numerals on the front of the coin, including the date, the word liberty, and the national motto "In God We Trust," were inadvertently struck twice, slightly misaligned, creating a doubled appearance that is subtle to the casual observer but immediately recognizable to anyone with numismatic knowledge, and this type of error is highly prized because it is extremely difficult to produce intentionally, arises from specific conditions in the coin press, and occurred in only a limited number of coins, making each double die 1976 penny incredibly rare, and this rarity directly contributes to its high valuation, because collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for coins that are verified as genuine errors, particularly when the error is dramatic, visually appealing, and historically documented, and alongside the doubled die. There are other errors and anomalies that further increase the desirability of the 1976 penny, including off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted, and while an off-center strike might seem like a minor imperfection, for collectors, it signifies uniqueness and scarcity, as no two off-center coins are exactly alike, and the degree of misalignment can vary widely, meaning that each off-center 1976 penny has its own distinct characteristics, further enhancing its appeal and value. And another common type of error found in these coins is die cracks, which occur when the die used to strike the coin develops fractures or fissures that transfer onto the coin's surface, producing irregular lines, patterns, or textures, and these die cracks, though technically imperfections, add individuality and uniqueness to each coin, as the patterns are never replicated precisely, making each affected penny a one-of-a-kind artifact, and in some cases, coins exhibit multiple errors simultaneously, such as a double die combined with an off-center strike or die cracks, creating a compound error that exponentially increases both the rarity and the collectible value, because collectors prize coins that display multiple anomalies as they represent the convergence of extraordinary chance, mechanical variation, and historical circumstance. And when we examine the production history of the 1976 penny, we see that the U.S. Mint produced billions of coins during the bicentennial year, yet only a small fraction contained these significant errors, which is a major driver of their extreme valuation. A scarcity coupled with high demand is the key principle behind the astronomical prices some of these coins can command, and in addition to mechanical errors, there are also striking anomalies such as repunched mint marks, where the D designation for the Denver Mint, if present, was stamped multiple times, sometimes misaligned, resulting in a visually distinct variation that collectors immediately recognize, and these repunched mint marks further contribute to the coin's desirability because they are relatively rare, difficult to authenticate without careful examination, and historically significant, as they reflect the minting practices and oversight procedures of the era. And the 1976 penny is particularly interesting because its production coincided with technological and procedural changes at the Mint, including the use of new dies, updated striking machines, and quality control measures that, paradoxically, increased the likelihood of certain types of errors, as the rapid production schedules and experimental procedures during the bicentennial celebrations created opportunities for mistakes that would later become highly prized, and collectors today study these coins meticulously, learning to recognize subtle doubling, minute die cracks, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and other anomalies that distinguish ordinary coins from those that are truly valuable. And one of the most important aspects in determining the value of a 1976 penny is its grade, which refers to its condition, luster, and the sharpness of its details, because while any coin with an error can have some collectible value, a coin in pristine, mint-state condition is exponentially more desirable. And professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC provide standardized evaluations that authenticate the coin and assign a grade, offering collectors assurance that the coin is genuine and assessing the quality in a manner that directly impacts market price. And in the case of the 1976 1-cent penny, coins with high grades and verified errors can achieve valuations that reach into the tens of millions of dollars, precisely because they combine rarity, visual appeal, historical significance, and certified quality, and provenance also plays a significant role, as coins with documented history, previous ownership by notable collectors, or presence in high-profile auctions carry additional intangible value, turning a rare coin into a celebrated artifact, further increasing its market price. And another fascinating element of the 1976 penny's value is the way it connects to broader numismatic trends, as error coins often tell a story not just of a single coin, but of an entire era of minting, production practices, technological capabilities, and human oversight, allowing collectors to study, appreciate, and preserve a tangible piece of history. And the 1976 penny, in particular, is an example of how a common denomination can achieve extraordinary status, illustrating the principle that errors, imperfections, and unexpected variations can elevate an ordinary object into a treasure sought after by investors, collectors, and museums alike. And this coin also highlights the excitement and possibility inherent in the world of numismatics, because anyone who examines circulated coins, rolls of pennies, or collections stored away in jars or drawers has the potential to uncover a rare 1976 penny with a dramatic error, turning a casual hobby into a potentially life-changing discovery. And over the years, stories have emerged of collectors who have found these rare pennies in circulation, purchased them as part of coin lots, or discovered them among family inheritances. And the thrill of discovering an error coin like the 1976 penny cannot be overstated, because it combines surprise, rarity, and value in a single, tangible artifact. And the visual appeal of the coin is another important factor, as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks all create unique, eye-catching characteristics that transform a simple 1-cent coin into an object of fascination, akin to a miniature work of art. Each pattern distinct and impossible to replicate exactly, giving collectors the sense that they own something truly unique, something that stands apart from billions of ordinary pennies produced that year. And in addition, the 1976 penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series, a lineage that began in 1909 and has evolved over decades, and the continuity of this series allows collectors to place the 1976 coin within a historical framework, comparing its errors and anomalies with those of previous and subsequent years, deepening their understanding of minting practices, and appreciating why certain errors occur, and why certain years produce coins that become historically and financially significant. And this historical context adds another layer of value, as the 1976 penny is not only rare and visually intriguing, it is also part of the story of American coinage, reflecting the bicentennial celebrations, the technical and human aspects of minting, and the unpredictable nature of production errors, all of which enhance its collectible appeal. And the economic principle of supply and demand is evident here, because while millions of pennies were minted in 1976, only a handful exhibit the combination of errors that make them truly valuable, creating a scarcity that drives prices to extraordinary heights, particularly when combined with verified authenticity, high grading, and provenance. And collectors last 1998 D1 USA coin, everyone, to today's fascinating exploration into one of the most extraordinary coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the 1998 D penny, a coin that has captivated collectors, numismatists, and investors around the world due to its rare errors and mistakes that have propelled its value to an astonishing $38 million. A figure that may seem unimaginable for a coin that was originally designed for everyday transactions but makes perfect sense when you dive deep into the intricate details of its production, its anomalies, and the historical context surrounding its creation, and it all begins with understanding the 1998 Denver Mint operations, which at the time were under pressure to meet massive circulation demands while simultaneously maintaining the quality and consistency expected of United States coinage, and in the midst of this intense production schedule, a small handful of pennies experienced unusual minting errors, ranging from doubled dies to off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchette imperfections, each of which adds a unique layer of desirability to the coin and contributes to its incredible market value. And one of the most striking aspects of the 1998 D penny is the presence of the double die error on certain specimens, where the inscriptions, especially the date 1998 and the word liberty, appear doubled, creating a ghosted or echoed effect that immediately signals to collectors that this is no ordinary coin, but a coin that carries the fingerprint of minting mishaps and mechanical anomalies that occurred during the striking process, and these double dies are particularly valuable because they are visually distinct, easy for experienced collectors to authenticate, and extremely rare, as only a minuscule percentage of pennies from the 1998 Denver Mint exhibit this characteristic, making each coin a one-of-a-kind artifact, a tangible connection to a moment in history when human oversight, mechanical precision, and sheer chance intersected to create something extraordinary. And beyond the double die, other errors and mistakes further increase the coin's rarity and value, such as die cracks that run across the obverse and reverse of the coin, appearing as raised lines in the copper zinc surface, each crack telling a story of stress and strain within the dies themselves, evidence of the immense pressure exerted during the striking process, and adding an additional layer of uniqueness to the coin, because no two die cracks are exactly the same, ensuring that every specimen that exhibits this phenomenon is slightly different, giving collectors a virtually infinite number of variations to study and appreciate. And some specimens also feature off-center strikes, where the coin was not perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in incomplete images of Lincoln on the obverse or the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, creating an unusual, almost abstract aesthetic that turns a simple penny into a visually captivating piece of minting history. And in some cases, planchette imperfections, including slight variations in copper composition or small embedded debris, can cause subtle differences in color, weight, and texture, making each affected coin unique. And when you combine these various anomalies, the double die cracks, off-center strikes, and metallurgical quirks, you begin to understand why collectors are willing to pay millions for a coin that was originally worth only 1 cent, because each imperfection represents a rare occurrence that cannot be replicated, a snapshot of the minting process frozen in time. And the story becomes even more compelling when you consider the survival rate of these coins, as most 1998 D pennies were circulated widely, many ending up in change jars, cash registers, and loose collections. Yet only a tiny fraction survived in pristine enough condition to exhibit these errors clearly, and those that did are typically graded at the highest levels by professional numismatic grading services, with details carefully documented and verified to ensure authenticity, because in a market where even a single misattributed coin can dramatically alter its value, provenance and certification are critical, and collectors are known to spend years searching for these rare specimens, sometimes traveling across the country, scouring coin shops, attending estate sales, and examining countless coins to find that one perfect example that carries the hallmark features of the 1998 D-era penny, and the excitement of discovering such a coin is matched only by the thrill of understanding its technical details, from the precise nature of the die misalignment that causes the doubling, to the microscopic cracks that reveal stress points in the dies, to the subtle off-center placements that indicate minor errors in the coin press mechanism, and even the metallurgy, with variations in zinc and copper composition providing clues about the planchette source and processing conditions, all of which add layers of scientific, historical, and aesthetic interest to the coin, making it much more than a piece of currency but a collectible artifact that tells a rich story of human craftsmanship, mechanical processes, and chance occurrences. And the $38 million valuation is not just a reflection of rarity but of desirability, historical significance, and the passionate demand among collectors who understand the importance of owning such a coin. And as interest in rare coins has grown over the years, fueled by social media, online auction platforms, and collector communities, the legend of the 1998 D-penny has only expanded, with enthusiasts sharing detailed photographs, analysis, and stories of their discoveries, contributing to a broader awareness of its significance and inspiring new generations of collectors to seek out era coins, study minting techniques, and appreciate the unpredictability and fascination inherent in the world of numismatics. And every 1998 D-penny with errors is a tangible link to the past, a reminder that even in an era of mass production and industrial precision, mistakes can occur, and when they do, they can create objects of tremendous value and historical interest, and the coin embodies both the artistry and imperfection of human-made objects. A small but profound testament to how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary through rare circumstances, meticulous documentation, and passionate recognition by the collector community. And these coins often become the centerpieces of high-profile auctions, with collectors and investors bidding aggressively to secure their place in history, and each auction adds to the mythology of the 1998 D-penny, reinforcing its status as a must-have item for serious collectors and an emblem of the fascinating interplay between chance, history, and monetary value. And beyond the financial considerations, owning such a coin is a badge of distinction, a statement of knowledge, dedication, and passion for the field of numismatics, allowing collectors to connect with the broader history of the U.S. Mint, understand the evolution of minting technology, and participate in a community that values precision, rarity, and the stories behind every coin. And the 1998 D-penny continues to inspire research, debate, and fascination, as enthusiasts examine every line, crack, doubling, and anomaly in pursuit of deeper understanding. And each coin discovered adds a new chapter to the story, reinforcing the incredible journey from ordinary 1-cent piece to multi-million-dollar collectible, showing how even a tiny coin can encapsulate history, human error, mechanical ingenuity, and a sense of wonder that captivates collectors worldwide. And as you explore the detailed features of the 1998 D-penny, from its double dies to its die cracks, off-center strikes, and planchet irregularities, you gain a profound appreciation for how rarity, error, condition, and historical context converge to create a coin of unparalleled significance, a coin that proves that even the smallest and most overlooked objects can carry immense value, both monetary and cultural, and that the story of the 1998 D-penny is ultimately a story of discovery, fascination, and the extraordinary potential hidden within the ordinary. A story that continues to unfold as collectors and enthusiasts around the globe seek out, study, and celebrate this remarkable piece of numismatic history.